Good evening, Zimbabwe. This is Change Radio News. Today is Tuesday, 3 June 2025. The news read by Divine Nambira. Stories making the headlines. President Chamisa shares the vision of a new Zimbabwe. Trabablas InterChange over $172 million to build a $42 million roundabout. Air Force of Zimbabwe jet crash, a case of underfunding and aging aircraft. And now for the news in detail. President Nelson Chamisa today shared his vision for Zimbabwe, emphasizing a new nation founded on love. Speaking on his channel, he stressed that the country should be governed by love, truth, and justice, not hate, violence, or corruption. He believes love is the essential foundation that builds, heals, and brings prosperity, calling for it to lead the way forward. British billionaire Mo Ibrahim has weighed in on the Zimbabwe-Britain relationship, telling Zimbabwe newspaper publisher Trevor Ncube that for the Zimbabwe government to be respected and taken seriously, it must respect the rule of law and stop prosecuting opposition figures. This statement followed Ncube's direct question to British Foreign Secretary David Lammy about the relationship between the two countries. Let's listen to what Mo Ibrahim said.
I'm here, Mo. I've got the mic, Mo. Trevor Ncube here. Secretary Lamy, Zimbabwe and the UK have had a difficult relationship. You've just come in. What will it take to bring that relationship to where it was before? What are the sticking issues that need to be addressed by both parties to normalize the engagement? Thank you.
I think I should answer that question instead of you. I think you need to get your act together first before ask for normalization. Until you have a democracy in your country and stop harassing and doing what you're doing to the opposition, you have no right to ask for normalization with anybody.
Further reports of corruption concerning the Mbudzi InterChange project. Initially pegged at $42 million by a South African contractor, including compensation for affected families, the project was reportedly taken over by Fossil Contracting, owned by a known ZANU-PF frontman. Soon after, a bank also controlled by the same individual loaned the Zimbabwean government $88 million for the project, at more than double the original cost. To add to the controversy, the Minister of Finance reportedly withdrew an additional $88 million from the IMF special drawing rights and a separate pot of public money also handed to the same contractor. Citizens, journalists, and watchdog groups raised red flags, but the project proceeded, culminating in President Mnangagwa cutting the ribbon at what some are now calling Africa's most expensive roundabout. The recent crash of an Air Force of Zimbabwe jet fighter, which claimed the life of veteran pilot squadron leader Ritswanetsi Vuyo Ncube, highlights the struggling state of Zimbabwe's Air Force. Lack of funding, aging aircraft, and poor maintenance have led to several accidents in recent years. Since 2020 alone, there have been multiple incidents, including a trainer aircraft crash in November 2020, killing 2 pilots, and a helicopter crash in April 2021 that killed 3 people on board and a child on the ground. These losses, combined with an aging fleet, have significantly reduced the Air Force's capacity to respond to security threats and participate in regional peacekeeping operations. In economic news from Zimbabwe, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe says it will soon introduce new ZiG banknotes in denominations of 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s, and 200s. RBZ Governor Dr. John Mushayalanu stated the rollout will be gradual based on market demand. However, critics argue this move reflects ongoing desperation under the ZANU-PF government, which has a history of currency failures. Since the early 2000s, Zimbabwe has cycled through numerous failed currencies, from the Zim dollar to bond notes, RTGS, and now ZiG, all amidst deep public mistrust and high inflation. Economists warn that without tackling root causes like corruption and policy inconsistency, new banknotes will likely change little for ordinary citizens. Corruption in land transactions continues to be a widespread challenge in Zimbabwe, involving illegal allocations, double sales, and unauthorized developments. Critics suggest this is largely aided by a corrupt ZANU-PF government, which appears to benefit from such anomalies, especially during election campaigns. In response, Transparency International Zimbabwe and the Center for Public Policy Development and Devolution at Midland State University have launched an intensive short course on land governance and management. This course aims to equip traditional leaders, land professionals, law enforcement, and community leaders with tools to promote transparency and accountability. However, given the ongoing concerns about governance, it remains to be seen if this initiative will translate into tangible change. In a tragic incident reported yesterday, Piers Nyatsanza, the executive officer of the Masvingo Rural District Council, reportedly took his own life. Sources indicate he ingested a poisonous substance following a heated argument with his wife related to an alleged extramarital affair. This incident has shocked the local community and raised concerns about mental health and domestic issues. Police are investigating. In economic news from Zimbabwe, social media is abuzz with reports of a substantial $4.2 million payment from the Finance Ministry to Better Benz Petroleum, a company owned by a ZANU-PF MP Scott Sakupwanya. This transaction has sparked widespread outrage and demands for clarification, raising concerns about potential corruption. Better Brands, which supplies bulk fuel, operates alongside the government-owned petrol trade, leading to questions about the necessity and transparency of this payment. And over 50 cement trucks are currently stranded at Chirundu border post, reportedly due to a newly imposed 30% tax on imports. The importer has sought a High Court order citing existing trade rules under COMESA, which exempt goods from fellow member states from such duties and surtaxes. In news from the local communities, a police constable, Blessed Moyo, was arrested over the weekend for the murder of a person he had apprehended, whose body was later found in a Blair toilet behind the police station. Reports suggest he tortured the suspect, who was accused of stealing using plastics and whips. It's unclear if the torture directly caused the death, but the deceased was last seen in Moyo's care. This incident highlights ongoing concerns about police conduct, particularly in how they treat suspects. In a story of community initiative, a road connecting Wedza and Chikomba districts to the Mashonaland East provincial capital Marondera was in such a dilapidated state that local communities took to the initiative to rebuild it. A Mushandira Pangwe product was initiated to pool resources, leading to 21 kilometers of the road being upgraded. Seeing this community-led success, ZANU-PF officials reportedly jumped onto the initiative, attempting to claim it as a Second Republic success story. And in a positive community news story, yesterday, Honorable Martin Mureri, the Member of Parliament from Masvingo Urban, donated 40 chairs and 40 desks to Chikato Primary School. This donation, made through the Constituency Development Fund, is part of a broader parliamentary initiative to strengthen public education through community engagement. The event highlighted the importance of investing in children's education. Let us listen to Honorable Mureri speaking.
All right. Tauyawo pamusha penyu ndoda kuti tirangaridzane kuti pano pamuri paprimary school muri murwendo rwamunoda kufamba muchakusvitsai kusekendari mozondosvika kuyunivhesiti. Saka muri parwendo ipapo taonesu zvakakosha kuti tikuvigirei madheski amaona ari pamberi apo, amwe acho ari murori nemacheya avo, nokuti rwendo rwamuri kufamba urwu harwudi kuti munge muchishungurudzika, munge muchinyora musina kugara pakanaka, munge muchiverenga musina kugara pakanaka. Ndosaka nitaona zvakakodzera kuti aiwa ngatiinde pachikato tindopa vana varipo mabhenji nemacheya kuti vawane pekugara pakanaka, vawane pekuverenga vari pakanaka. Ndosaka ndichauya nezvozvo. Mukada kutarisa hurumende iyo yazouya pano yese, kansela venyu vari pano vemadhuna, ndo vanoona nezvemuno muwadhi manikatimo muwadhi 3, ndo kansela vanenge varimo vakamirira hurumende iri palevel repasi, vatoti local government. Ini ndiri pano ndiri MP wenyu muconstituency inonzi Masvingo Urban. Ava ndiseneta chakabuda ndo vanenge vari kunori vatoti kuupper house, muchazoti mavako zvokuti ndinoziva nguva yakaita seyo inoi ndo yamunenge muchiti when I grow up I want to be. Pane zvakawanda zvingazitaurika. I want to be a teacher, I want to be a professor, I want to be a doctor. Saka ndo rwendo rwachauya irworwo kuti tikubatsirei pamunenge muchifamba rwendo irworwo, kuitira kuti zvifungidziro zvenyu zvisuviro, zvemwoyo yenyu zvisuviro, zvemaperenzi edu achitiunza kuno, nokuti hamuna kungouya mega. Pamamuri kumusha maperenzi ane zvaanofunga pamusoro penyu. Maperenzi ane zvamuri kuona, ari kuona maticha pakati penyu, ari kuona madhokta pakati penyu, ari kuona maloya pakati penyu, ari kuona zvakawanda zviri pakati penyu, but vari kuona ramangwana rakanaka.
Zimbabwe is currently hosting the 57th Plenary Assembly session of the SADC Parliamentary Forum for the 6th time. The session brings together parliaments from the region to explore the potential of artificial intelligence in enhancing parliamentary processes and fostering cooperation. Speaking at the forum, the chairperson of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, Honorable Christopher Kalila, emphasized the CPA's role in benchmarking parliaments, monitoring affairs, and educating on parliamentary matters, aiming to strengthen capacity in the region through collaboration. However, in the context of Zimbabwe's own parliament, which has faced criticism over recalls and an executive that reportedly doesn't fully account to the legislative body, the practical impact of such forums remains a topic of debate. In international news, in South Korea, voters are casting their ballots today in a snap presidential election. Liberal candidate Lee Jae-myung is widely expected to win, following public disappointment after former President Yoon Suk-yeol was ousted due to a failed martial law bid. And Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has hailed Monday's second round of direct peace talks between Ukraine and Russia as very, very momentous. He confirmed that both sides agreed to exchange over 1,000 prisoners of war, along with a highly significant number of bodies of soldiers killed in action. However, officials indicated that Monday's discussion, lasting just over an hour, produced no major progress toward ending the 3-year-long conflict. Finally, in sports news, Scotland FC midfielder Nathan Mutasa has been included in the Zimbabwe Warriors squad for the 2025 COSAFA Cup. The tournament begins tomorrow, June the 4th, with Zimbabwe in Group A alongside hosts South Africa, Mauritius, and Mozambique. Mutasa was initially omitted, but his club confirmed his inclusion via social media. The Zimbabwe squad largely consists of under-20 players and will be led by under-20 national team coach Simon Marange. Zimbabwe begins their campaign tomorrow against Mauritius in Bloemfontein. And in transfer news, Highlanders youngster Prince Ndlovu has been linked with a move to South African giants Orlando Pirates. According to Soka Laduma, Pirates have been monitoring Ndlovu, who previously trained with the club in 2023, and are reportedly planning to make a move for the young midfielder. To end the news bulletin, here are the headlines once again. President Chamisa shares the vision of a new Zimbabwe. Trabablas InterChange, over $172 million to build a $42 million roundabout. Air Force of Zimbabwe jet crash, a case of underfunding and aging aircraft. And that concludes our bulletin for today. We thank you for listening. From myself, Divine Nambera, and the entire team at Change Radio, we wish you a blessed night.